Thanksgiving had been and gone on the Eastern Coast Railroad, and all of the engines were waking up for another busy day. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Thomas. Morning, Thomas. Where's Gary? We can't go to work if he doesn't tell us what our jobs are. Good morning, everyone. Sorry I'm running a little late. The manager sent me to pick up something he got a good deal on from today's Black Friday sales. And that something is another train. Oh no, this isn't just any train. It's a festive Christmas mini train. Mr. Sperry thought it would put our passengers into the festive spirit, or even bring more in. As if we won't have enough when the holidays roll in. Now then, your jobs. Alice, you're on the local passenger run, and Dexter is on the express again. Thomas, you'll be taking passengers on the branch line, but I want you to take 2 of Dexter's coaches for the time being. Oh? What for? Well, Annie and Clarabelle are due for routine maintenance, and you'll have more passengers due to the holiday season. You'll be able to carry more in Dexter's coaches. Oh, and Dexter, I want you to take an extra coach on your train as well. Yes, Gary. Edgar shall take Annie and Clarabelle to the works, and then... Edgar? I can't come out today. My, fuel line is frozen. Edgar, you just spent the night in the heated roundhouse. Your fuel line is not frozen. But Gary, it's so cold out there. I can't go to work today. Yes, you can, Edgar. Everyone else is working. Now, after you take Annie and Clarabelle to the works, you're to report to Ibuki for your freight assignments. Fine. And Percy, you are to help Ibuki in the yards for a while. Then you must get ready for your mail train tonight. Remember, you won't be using your usual cars for a while. Take the big fancy ones. There's going to be a lot of holiday mail this month, so you'll need their extra room. Of course, Gary. Now then, before you all leave, I'd like to remind you that in about a week, we'll be preparing for our annual Christmas excursion train. The other engines listened intently. They all loved the Christmas train. Who will be pulling it this year, Gary? This year, the manager has decided to go all out. This year, the Christmas train will be pulled by none other than Per Marquette number 1225, the Polar Express. The engines were amazed. The Polar Express was the most famous Christmas train of them all. So, when 1225 gets here, I'd like you all to be on your best behavior and give them a warm welcome. But for now, roll on out and get those jobs done. For the next week, the engines worked very hard, doing their jobs without fuss. Oh dear, oh my. Calm down, everyone. Calm down. Calm down. Our main snowplow just broke. Hey. All the while, they kept thinking about the Christmas train, and they were all very excited for the arrival of 1225. But none of them were as excited as Percy. He loved hearing the stories about the Polar Express's adventures to the North Pole. Day after day, he'd ask if 1225 had arrived yet. Gary, is the Polar Express here yet? Oh, not yet, Percy. Be patient. But Percy was far too excited to be patient. So much so, he even pretended to be the Polar Express during his mail runs. But as the day came closer, bad news struck. Thomas, have you seen 1225 yet? Oh. Thomas? What's the matter? It's 1225, Percy. He's not coming. What? It's true, Percy. Unfortunately, there's been a scheduling conflict, and 1225 won't be able to make it this year. Percy was very disappointed. He had been looking forward to 1225's visit, and now he wasn't coming at all. I see. I suppose he is very busy with all his trips to the North Pole. Oh, but don't worry, Percy. The Polar Express will still be here on our railroad for Christmas. What do you mean, Gary? Well, 1225 understood that we were in an awkward position without him, so we called up some friends to find a replacement for our Christmas train, and now one of his classmates will be pulling it this year.
Classmates? Does that mean one of 1225's fellow Berkshire relatives will be coming?
Indeed it does, Percy. And now Nickel Plate Road number 759 will be this year's Polar Express.
Well, this made Percy excited all over again. He was still a little upset that 1225 wasn't coming, but now he was eager to meet one of his friends. The next morning, Percy arrived back in the yards after completing his mail run. When... It's him! Hello, a buddy of mine told me you needed a Polar Express. Indeed, it's great to meet you, 759. Oh, please, call me Waylon. And you? Oh, my name's Percy.
Ah, Waylon, good to see you. You made great time getting here.
Well, your railroad is located in the same state as my home.
All the same, I bet you're tired after your long journey. Percy, how about you show our special guest to the roundhouse?
Oh, yes, Gary. Come on, Waylon. You can bunk with me. So Percy showed Waylon to the roundhouse, where he made himself comfortable. Ooh, it's nice and toasty in here.
Soon they were both chatting like old friends, and before long they were both fast asleep. Meanwhile, Gary stayed in the yard. He was waiting for the Christmas train's coaches to arrive. At last, the special coaches entered the yard.
Hey, Gary, I brought those coaches you asked for.
Thank you, Roxanne. You must have had quite a journey here.
Oh, not at all. I'm always honored to offer my services to a real railroad.
Gary smiled knowingly. Roxanne loved any excuse to be out and about.
Now then, I'll just leave my coaches with you. So long as they're here, I'll be around.
If you want to make yourself useful, go see Ibuki. He's shunting cars somewhere around here.
Right. I've just got to top off my fuel, and I'll be ready for work.
Ah, Waylon, perfect timing. Your coaches for the Christmas train have just arrived.
Waylon eyed the coaches. He did not like what he saw. What? These old things? I thought I was supposed to be pulling the Polar Express.
Well, sort of. These were the only coaches we could get on such short notice.
I don't care. I want the real deal. I won't pull these ugly things.
And he didn't. Later, Percy woke up to start his mail route. He was just collecting his cars when he saw Waylon sulking by his coaches.
Hey, Waylon, are those the coaches for the Christmas train? Boy, you're so lucky to be pulling ones as nice as these. Kuh, you'd think so, wouldn't you? Waylon, is something wrong? Percy, do these coaches look very festive to you? Well, no. And that's what's wrong with them. These coaches don't look very festive at all. I can't pull the Polar Express with these old and ordinary things.
Percy was shocked. He couldn't believe Waylon was saying such things. He was about to give him a piece of his mind when he suddenly remembered something.
Waylon, what makes the Polar Express so festive in the first place?
Why, the fact that it's a smartly decorated train taking children to see Santa.
Uh-huh. And tell me, what sort of decorations does it have?
Well, the engine that pulls it is painted in a smart black livery, with a rake of blue and red Pullman coaches stringing behind it. Then you have the... And that's when Waylon realized, despite being a festive train, the Polar Express had never worn any distinct holiday decorations.
Yes, Waylon, the Polar Express may not have any Christmassy decorations, but it's the merry people it carries and the destination it's reaching that makes it so festive.
Well, I suppose that's true, but I still can't pull the Polar Express without its signature blue and red Pullman cars.
Oh, yes you can, Waylon. Substitution plays an important part on the railroad.
Substitution?
Yes. When you don't have something you need, use something similar in its place. Take my friend Thomas, for instance. He's borrowing some coaches from one of his friends as his regular coaches are too small for the holiday traffic. Or look over there at Fuyuhito. He's preparing a new diesel for snow clearing service while our regular rotary snowplow is being repaired. And what about me? I don't always pull these giant mail cars on my routes. My regular ones are just undergoing routine maintenance. Wow, I didn't realize substitution played such a major role in railroading. It sure does. And if everyone can use equipment that's out of the ordinary, you can use these coaches to pull the Christmas train. You know what? You're right, Percy. I shouldn't let this minor substitution ruin the Christmas train for all the merry passengers. That's the spirit, Waylon. Now you'd better hurry up and hitch to your coaches. I'd hate to see 611 return and see you not pulling the coaches she graciously let us borrow. These are 611's coaches? Well, why didn't you just start with that? In no time at all, Waylon was ready to pull the Christmas train. For the next couple of weeks, Waylon paraded up and down the line with lots of merry passengers. And not one made a comment on the lack of decorations. Waylon enjoyed himself very much. But all too soon, it was time for him to go home. You've done a very great job with this year's Christmas train, Waylon. We are grateful that you were able to come on such short notice. Ah, well, I'd rather do some real work than sit in that museum, but now I'd like to go home and spend Christmas with my friends. Be sure to come back and visit soon. Oh, don't worry, Percy, my friend. I'm sure I'll be back before you know it. And with that, Waylon left the Eastern Coast Railroad, proud to have been of service and glad to have made a new friend in Percy. You know, if I was in his position, I would have never complained about what cars I was given to pull.